you obviously have a life and you want to be able to like have that personal life. And so I think there's like such a beautiful way that you can share enough with yourself of where you feel like you're really authentically connecting with people and forming real relationships, because at the end of the day, all of those people who support you and take the time to listen to you, like you could be the best producer in the world, but if those people weren't there, you wouldn't have a career. So I feel like the least thing we could do for those people is like give them our attention and be authentically ourselves, because that's just what they deserve. Like I wouldn't be here if people like this didn't write questions or like anything like that. That's the coolest thing in the world.
Set 'em on fire. Welcome to my empire.
Super glad to have you on the show. We always love having boss queens on the podcast.
I love that.
And oh my God, girl, you have been killing it in the game lately.
Thank you.
Insane.
I honestly feel the same way. I feel like it's insane too.
Yeah. Well, Chrissy and we last saw you. It was the Deadbeats event out here in Denver, because that's where we're based out of. You play at the Mission Ballroom.
Yeah. That's honestly one of my favorite shows to literally ever exist in my life. It was
no way.
Yeah. It was like, well, for me, that was the first show back from COVID. And I didn't know, like when I was asked to play it, it was like Zed's Dead, Red Rocks after party. So I didn't know like what Mission Ballroom was, because it is obviously a new venue. I had never been there, never played it. So I was expecting like this like venue that was like after party vibes. And when I got there, I was like, this is a stadium. I was like, this is not an after party.
Literally. And it was packed out for that show too.
Crazy. It was so crazy. So it was really cool. Like I was completely blown away. Like it was so much fun. But yeah, I like was not expecting that. And they're like, Rossy, this has been sold out. It's like 4,000 people. I was like, are you actually, okay. I was like, okay. First show back from COVID. I was so nervous.
Yeah, that stadium, it's pretty much a stadium. It's one of the it's one of the best venues out here for sure.
It's like huge. And the LED wall, I was like,
oh my gosh,
this is like 8 billion of me if I stood on my shoulders. It was so tall and so big. I was like,
yeah, that day was kind of crazy for us. I want to say it was like the 3rd or the 4th of July. I don't remember which one.
I think it was the actual 4th of July.
Yeah, I think it was the 4th. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because we were at the daytime party where Jessica Otterfred played, and I think there was like, it might have been like Abstract or someone. But we were there just chilling, like not even expecting that we would get tickets to go to Mission. And then our friend was just like, hey, I got you on the list. Like you're coming. And we were like, full send.
I love that. I know. I was originally, my plan was to go to the day thing and then go that evening, but I went to Red Rocks the night before it. And like, by the time I woke up and was like mentally getting myself ready for the show, I was like, that's not happening. I was like, I'll be at the show later and it'll be fine.
It'll take it out of you for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's like one thing I always try to be like, Rossy, what will future you appreciate? Like now you really wants to do this, but what will future you benefit from? You know?
It's one thing too, like if you're just going to a show as a viewer or like a fan, but you have to play. So you kind of like can't have a headache and you have to be at your peak performance.
Yeah, that's very true. And I always like say, once I step on stage and everything, it kind of like, if there is anything else going on in my life, like whatever it may be, it does tend to just like completely disappear. There's only one time where I was like really sick and I was DJing and I was like, whew. But after that set, I was like, you know what? If I can get through that set, I can do anything in the world.
Yeah, no, exactly. My boyfriend is an artist too. Hi Zombie. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I have heard of him. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So that's my boyfriend. And I'll go with him to shows. And like right before he played the Welcome Art Car at EDC, he was so nervous. And then right when he got on, like all of those nerves just disappear. I feel like it's the same for every artist.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say like, if we didn't get nervous, that either one means we don't really care or like aren't really invested in what we're doing, or we're not pushing ourselves in some way, shape or form. Like maybe with like transitions or like maybe I'm nervous about playing some new IDs or something, but I feel like nerves are such a good sign of just caring about what you do, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I also think that applies to life too, because there will be days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so challenged right now. I'm so stressed out. But then I think back to it and it's like, if you don't challenge yourself on a daily basis, then you're not growing.
Yeah.
So that's how you learn
Yeah.
and that's how you become a better person.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. 100%.
Yeah. And you never want to be the smartest person in a room.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah. Constantly just learn from others and don't take advice from people you wouldn't immediately trade places with.
Oh, I've actually never heard that. And that is a very good thing, I feel like, to say. That's good.
Well, I'm actually curious because, so like just switching gears here, I'm from San Diego and I saw that you played at the new nightclub Nova. Like, how was that? Because it's brand new. You're like one of the first artists literally to play there. So like, how was it?
Crazy. It was the grand opening. And it was seriously wild. Like, I feel like something I was saying before the show is like San Diego obviously had like Basement and Bang Bang and like venues like that, but they haven't really had like a bigger scaled venue where like people like that are coming through, because they have festivals and stuff, but they don't really have. I kind of feel like it's like the Exchange of San Diego now, like how LA has Exchange and Academy. It's kind of going to be like that of the San Diego crew. And you could just tell that the crowd was like, we don't have this here. We are ready to go. Like, they were like, the second I stepped on stage, I was like, oh my God, the energy from you people right now. Like, I hadn't even pushed play that. And I was like, it was so sick. It was so cool. And I had the best time. Like, the venue, I had never been to it as Omnia before they bought it, so I don't really know how much it's changed or anything, but it was really cool. Like, as an artist, I really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, San Diego's ready to party. They're like, bring it on. Let's go.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's go.
There weren't really any, I guess, large scale or like very big club size dubstep shows growing up. Because when I would go, we would go to like the underground rave scenes, like, you know, like YDG. Like, he was playing like as a house DJ and like playing at these underground raves, and like everyone would wear all the candy, and like it was just like one of those little areas where like they were hidden in San Diego, but like the little funny, colorful rainbow posters, you know, and like, but there weren't really any like actual large like venues. And there was like Basement, you know, but like I would only go just to support some local friends or whatever. But
absolutely. Yeah.
Then like Skrillex rolling through, or, you know, none of that.
Yeah. This is definitely a venue Skrillex could roll through. I mean, the like schedule they have for the next, I think it's like the first, like however many weekends are all crazy. It's like Millennium, Diplo.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Like every weekend, it's like the biggest hitting acts. There's like Jaws,
Dead Mouse is playing.
Dang. It's like crazy. Like every weekend, and they were like,
wow,
they're really trying to blow it up.
Oh yeah, they put some time into it.
Well, you were with R.L. Grime, right? Didn't he headline?
Yep.
Yeah. You've played a couple shows with him?
Yeah, I just did Exchange with him, and then I also just did the Sable Valley tour. So I was on tour with him. I did like 4-5 stops on the RL tour. So yeah, I've done a pretty good amount now. Yeah.
How did you first make that connection with the Sable Valley fam?
So this is kind of a really crazy story. So my manager at the time, his name is Dalton. I still love that man more than anything in the world. I guess originally he was working for Sable, and he was like, oh, we should check out Rossy, blah, blah, blah. And apparently they emailed me, and I, to this day, don't know if like there was a typo or like something, but I never got it. I like never got it, because fast forward like a year or so, I got like connected with the A&R, and they were like, oh, we actually sent you an email once and we just never heard back from you. And I was like,
oh no.
I was like, what? I was like scouring like every email I've ever had back to like my 6th grade, like Hotmail, like dorky email, like trying to find this email. Like, I can't believe I missed the email from Sable Valley, because that was like my like dream. I was like, Sable Valley, I have to have it. And so obviously like things came full circle, and then I was just sending like a bunch of stuff I had been working on, and then Euphoria is what came to be. That's the song with Juku that got signed to the first compilation. And so that was kind of like my first like introduction with Sable and doing that. And then I did the first live stream they did. So those were like kind of my first things to get me involved. And then just since I had that song, obviously have the connection. So just kept sending songs and got more songs signed. And then lucky enough to have RL play one of my songs, and not Halloween X, but the one before that. And so it just kind of like grew from there. And so
wow.
Now here we
That's
are.
amazing.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, when I was a little baby raver going to festivals and shows and stuff, watching him play. And now I'm like, oh, no, holy fuck, I'm playing with Marlon Craig. It's like,
well, Sable Valley's doing some cool stuff. Like, I love how they'll sometimes on Twitter, if there's a big thing coming up, I'll see like certain artists post like, you've been admitted to Sable Valley. And it's like some text about like them joining the society or whatever.
It's really cool. The way they go about like the rollouts and the marketing is super sick, super unique. And I know for me as an artist, like that feels like that's like a college acceptance letter to us. We're like, fuck yeah, we're on Sable Valley. This is my acceptance letter. Like, it feels awesome. So even as cool as it is, I know it means a lot to like the producers out there, because it's like, oh shit, like we did it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And so I'm very thankful to be a part of that community. And they are honestly like the first people who, I don't want to say the first people, because I've had a lot of incredible supporters on the way, but like some of the first people of like RL, like the bigger echelon of people to really support me. And so that it like Sable and that whole team and that whole community means so much to me, because I honestly don't even know if we'd be having this conversation if it wasn't for them. So I like very much am honored and appreciate that whole team.
And I mean, it shows that it was meant to be too, especially because you missed the email somehow. And then they still found a way to get you.
I literally still am traumatized by that, even though everything worked out completely fine, because I don't know.
But it's like, there's so many questions. Like, did they send it to the wrong email? Did like, I accidentally delete it? Did it go to my junk? Like,
I'm like, did it go to my junk? Like, what happened? I was like hours just going through my emails trying to find this, and they were so nice and so cool. They weren't like upset or anything. They just told me, and I was like,
choke.
I was like, no,
like, oh shit.
I was like, what? And so, but yeah, I truly believe everything happens for a reason. And who knows, like maybe at that time, I mean, my production versus probably when they sent it versus where it is now, like now, and at that point we're so much better. So honestly, maybe thank God for that. They probably would have heard a demo and been like, yikes, girl.
Oof. So do you have any releases coming up?
I do. I have a lot of releases coming up.
Word.
Yeah, I can't say what yet, but it's going to be a very, very, very cool year. And there's going to be a lot of firsts from me this year. So I'll tell you that. And I'm working my little self to the bone right now in an amazing way. Like, it's so sick. And I mean, obviously you saw on Instagram, P is also my best friend in the world, but we also are doing some other stuff too.
Yeah, it's cool that you get to work with your best friends too, because I see you with her and then I see you with Cray sometimes.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's very, very awesome when I think it's so cool, especially with females in the industry, because at first we were very much conditioned and like the industry made us feel like we were competition with each other, and everyone, like girls, have been like, hey, no, like we can all support each other. There's enough room for all of us and everything. And so it's really cool because like we're changing that narrative and everyone is really, really supportive and so sweet. And so that's really cool. Like it's like a little girl gang.
Yeah. I see that on the industry side of things too. Cause like on Twitter, we're in this group called The Future is Female. And it's like a lot of like industry girls, like managers or
I love that.
Agents or social media managers, whatever. And we are not like gatekeeping at all. It's like the opposite of gatekeeping. Like one time I posted in the group and I was like, hey, does anyone have any press contacts for pop punk press, blogs? And so 2 people sent me like a list of 15 contacts right away within like 5 minutes.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
that's
it's
really
just,
awesome.
It's cool to be able to lift those around you up and then like kind of have that favor returned without even like trying,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I completely agree. And I just am so happy that is the attitude. And like you just said, like even beyond artists, like I see it with agents and managers and everyone who's a part of the scene just being so awesome and so supportive. And it's like, we have to stick together, like, especially as girls, like we already go through so much shit. We have to like be there for each other and support each other. Cause none of our own successes is going to determine someone else's successes. The only thing we can do is just grow more from each other with those things. So I'm all
exactly.
for it. I'm like,
I'm
yes,
always,
girlies.
I'm always open to learning from others. Even if like there's people who are younger than me that I can learn so much from, like TikTok, for example. I don't fucking know how to use TikTok. So
Oh my
like,
God.
hey, young kids, how do I use this? Or like,
Literally,
do I use these hashtags? Or like, what do you
don't
do?
even get me started on TikTok. TikTok is the first time I've ever felt super old in my life. Like I'm like trying to keep up with the kids. I'm like, one of my really good friends is she's so cute and so good at TikTok. And I'm always texting her. I'm like, how do I make this? Like, I don't understand anything. And she like will help me. And I just feel like a grandma learning how to use an iPhone because
the worst,
don't we all?
The worst is when you have a really good video, but it's horizontal and not vertical.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, do I crop in on it and remove the quality, or do I like put text on top and bottom?
Yeah, it's because like horizontal videos on, or like whatever. Wait,
Reels.
am I saying it right? I'm like, no, I'm
horizontal is the
horizontal.
horizon.
Yes, yeah. Horizontal videos on TikTok, they just like never do good. You want them to do good, and they never do. So yeah, you always are like, okay, well,
even like on Instagram.
Yeah,
horizontal videos just don't do well. For,
and
at least for us.
Yeah, and I feel like especially since Instagram obviously wants like to compete with TikTok, so I know they're to get annoying. I know their algorithm is like really favoriting reels right now, but I'm like, I don't want to post a reel.
Yeah, well, and it's like I want to post a reel and make real content, but I don't freaking have time. You know? It's like I with the label with Welcome, we use what we're given, and a lot of times that's not real content.
Yeah, it's hard. It takes like a lot of work. Actually, for the first time, I was like, this is so funny. For the first time ever, when I was at the San Diego show, Glenn like shot some videos vertically at the end of my set, like specifically for it, and I was like, whoa, this is such weird times that we're living in. Because yeah, it is true. Like I feel like videos, especially if they're not being pushed as a reel, they aren't doing as well, unless it's like a raw like video clip. Like if someone DJing, those still tend to go off pretty well. But other than that, like for like a release or like something like that, I've noticed a definite difference for sure.
Yeah, even release days, like I don't know what it is, but somehow Instagram just knows that Fridays are usually the release days. Dude, and you can post a bomb ass video. Yeah, you can like post a bomb ass video or even just a press pic, and numbers still don't really do that well.
Even like, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but even with like stories, like I feel like Instagram right now hates when we share like Spotify things, and it's crazy how much like lower your views and engagement is on those kind of days. I'm like, okay, only like the day that's really important, you guys.
Like, no, literally we were just talking about that because we were at Wasteland all weekend with Hartshorn, and we were like trying to think of ways to still get views, but all of our friends were tagging us and stuff that we wanted to repost. And I think that when you repost things that you're tagged in on the story, it like suppresses it for some reason. So I'm like, what the heck?
I completely agree. And I don't understand it. I mean, I feel like they just definitely, at the end of the day, they're just wanting people to be making new content all the time. And that must have something to do with it. But yeah, I'm like, hello, this is a really important day for me, please. And thank you. Like I've worked really hard.
Like, keep calm.
Like, yeah, seriously.
Literally.
Like, thanks guys.
Hate to see it.
Yeah. I hate to see
it's
boring.
It's always
boring.
Yeah. It's always a game with Instagram. The algorithm seems to change every week. So just,
I know. And I'm just like, you know what? And unfortunately, it's a big part of what we do, and we have to play the game. But at a certain point, I've also just been like, you know what, I'm doing the best I can, and that's the best I can do. And
that's what I remind myself of too. Like I always say this: if you have good intentions through everything that you do, even if it's not like received the way you want it to, or it doesn't meet up to your expectations, it will always be good in the end.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I feel like whenever you go into things with good hearts, good intentions, and you're putting in the work for whatever the thing is, like good things only come back to you. You know, it's like very much you put good energy into the world, it comes back.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Big
well, actually, so we got some submitted questions.
You know, okay.
Yeah, girl, people love you. Holy shit.
We got a load of questions.
Really?
Got a lot of questions. So we won't be able to get through all of them, but
I think I'm literally tearing up right now. Are you serious?
There were at least
you guys are cute. You guys are cute. You guys are cute.
But we also want to give your fans a chance to be able to ask you questions that they want to know and get to know you more. So that's the whole idea behind this podcast.
I love that so much. Oh my God. Okay. I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm emotionally ready for this.
All right. So first one from Jimmy Rowe.
Okay.
He asked, how did you learn to produce such amazing bangers from he's your biggest fan.
That's so sweet. Well, honestly, I actually started DJing first, and I started playing the guitar when I was in the 5th grade. I was in love with Kurt Cobain. And so I've always kind of been just very much into music. So by the time I started producing, I very much understood music, but I'm not classically trained like at all. So it definitely helped in that sense. But I was going to college at the time in Chico, California, and I had a girl in my class, and there's a lot of he said, she said here. So I had a girl in my class, and her boyfriend's friend was making music, and I was trying to learn how to make music, and she was like, oh my God, you guys should totally hang out. Like, you guys make music. I don't really know anyone else doing this. So his name is Miko. He's super talented. You guys should listen to him. And we just would work on music together all the time. And I literally learned so much because I wasn't able to like, just like, here's like a basic melody, here's a kick and a snare, and it just sounded like shit, but he was so talented. So he was like, I was like his grasshopper, and he just taught me everything. And so then from then on, we're still incredible friends, and sometimes not as much anymore, which sucks because I still love making music with them. Things have just gotten a little more busy, sadly. But yeah, things have just grown, and you learn more. YouTube is a girl's best friend when you're learning how to produce. And honestly, like, I just think there's so many resources, especially friends. If you have friends in the industry, like, that's such a cool way to learn because it's so hands-on, and that's what I learned the best at. And now here I am, just living my life.
It worked out very well.
It worked out music. Yeah. So he actually opened up Nova. He played before me, and then I played. Yeah. And so it was so cool. I was just like, how cool is it that we're both doing this when we were like living in Chico, just in like our bedrooms making music together, and now we're both playing in San Diego. I was like, I love this so much.
That's like a full circle.
Very very full circle. Very full circle. And so yeah, I owe him a lot.
Shout out Miko.
Yeah, shout out Miko. He's great.
Next question is from Mushu_AU. I know you mentioned Kurt Cobain, but who else inspired you when you were first DJing and first learning to produce?
Yeah, so when I first learned how to produce, it was very much the era of like when Skrillex did Scary Monsters, and like that was kind of the area I was in when I grew up in EDM. So I remember it was so crazy. The first Coachella I went to, I'm so spoiled. I'm so lucky. I went to Coachella, and it was like when he was doing the Mothership tour, and I saw that, and it was like R.L. Grime. He was in like the Gobi tent and like brought out Big Sean, and like Flostradamus played at like 2 p.m. on like this tiny little stage. And I was just so inspired, especially because obviously I make trap music, and I have been like thoroughbred trap music from the start to the end. Like it's just always been my shit. And I just remember being like, this is the coolest thing. It just like all of the energy, all of the people, that era was just such a gorgeous era of music and time. And I was like, this is what I am meant to do with my life. So for electronic music, it was definitely like OG Floss, R.L. Grime, even Dylan Francis. Like, he used to get pretty trappy and pretty dirty. So, and even like, obviously still like classics like Daft Punk, Justice, like all of those people inspired me as well, just because they're so iconic. But for like me personally, and what I connected to was definitely like OG trappy boys, or even like Ooze and Hoochie, like all of those.
Loud Pack, Bauer. Oh my God, the trap golden days were real. I remember very real. Floss at Red Rocks, and it was, damn son, where'd you find this?
Oh, literally, I will never. When P and I just did that back-to-back at Brownies, like Kurt was there and like came on stage and was playing and stuff, and he dropped like an OG Floss song, and I was like, I am standing on stage and he just dropped an OG Floss. I was like, this is another full circle, but I was like, this is the craziest thing of my entire life. I was just like in my head fangirling. I was like, whoa, this is sick.
Man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Floss in a minute.
So sick.
I saw him at Coachella some year. What year did you go?
I have gone for 6 years. So I am a Coachella basic bitch. I don't care what anyone says. I love that place. But I think that year that I'm talking about right now, the first year I went, I can't remember, but it was either 2013 or 2014. I can't remember which one it was.
It might have been 2014.
It might have been.
Because that's when I went. I went 2014, 15, and 16.
Did that year I'm talking about, it was like Calvin Harris also played.
Yes,
Lana Del Rey played.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember who else. Outkast played.
Yes, that was the year.
Yeah, Outkast. That was the year. That lineup was that was a goated lineup.
So we were probably in the same crowd.
Same circle. Literally. Yeah, we were just over there like.
Yeah, and I think Skrillex also played that year.
Yep. Yes,
at the big
the Sahara tent.
Yeah, the Sahara tent. That was like my first. That was like one of my first full like dubstep sets. Like, I mean, I had seen like Excision before, but like it was very weird and interesting to me back in like 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
But
yeah, then you go see Skrill jumping off a spaceship, and you're like,
oh my gosh,
you're just like, whoa.
Yeah. I literally was like, hi. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was so sick. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was that. But I mean, outside of electronic music, like I have such a wide variety taste of music. Like I listen to like metal, I listen to rap. I love like OG rock, like Jimi Hendrix. And I'm kind of all over the place. It sounds so corny, but I just genuinely love music.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, yeah. It's cool to be open to other genres as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. On to the next one here. So Donter _ wants to know, when you started the Rossy project, how many songs did you have ready to go for release?
1.
Really?
Literally 1. Yeah.
Just 1.
Well, because when I started making music, and I don't know if everyone's like this is me speaking from my personal experience, I was so ignorant to like everything that goes into making music, as far as like having a ton of songs ready and the business side of things. Like I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like make a song and I'm gonna release it and like work on stuff. And so I made a bootleg remix of Meant to Love You by Jaws, and that was the first thing I ever put on SoundCloud, and just kind of went on from there. But yeah, I was so just like, I love what I'm doing, and and I had like a mix series. You will never be able to find them because they're awful, and I took them off everywhere. Ooh. But they were called like Vibin'. It was like Vibin' 1, Vibin' 2, Vibin' 3. And that was like a consistent thing I was doing at the time. But yeah, I literally was just like in it for the music. Like I was like, I'm just going to make music and I'm going to release it and I'm going to do my thing. And then I got a very big wake up call. So things are very different now. And I have, whoa, bye, Mike. I have,
there she goes.
I know, right? I have many songs ready now, but yeah, at the time I was just living my music life. Had no idea what I was getting myself into as far as like the more tactical side of things. So
yeah, that's actually a really interesting question, because I was talking to Matt yesterday, and 2 of his friends are getting ready to debut like a new house alias. And he was telling me like everything that they're doing to get started and to roll it out. And they're not even rolling it out until August.
Yeah.
So they're like building up a bunch of songs and like getting these vocalists to work with and like doing all the visuals. And there's like this whole strategy behind it now, which is kind of crazy. Like, I feel like you do have to do that now.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like it's kind of like a blessing and a curse, because I feel like when I first started making music, this is gonna age me so much. When I first started making music, it was like when social media was just becoming a thing. So I feel like there's obviously like MySpace and Facebook, but in the sense of how we use it now. Right. And so like I feel like so many people were so unknowledgeable about like what can go into a rollout and like, oh my gosh, all of this kind of stuff. So all of us were just like, oh, we're just making music and like putting it out, like we didn't know. And then like the more I made music and the more I got deeper into the industry, you just like your knowledge grows. And whereas now I feel like that knowledge is a little more accessible, and like you can find groups of people, even if maybe you're up and coming or trying to figure out how to start, you can DM someone on Instagram and be like, hey, I really want to get started making music. How did you do it? And I actually have a lot of girls do that, and I send them like hour-long voice memos just being like, this is what I did. But so I feel like that's now, like if you do want to have something ready, you definitely
You have to have a plan.
You have to have a plan. You like have to very much have a plan. And I had no plan. I was just like, I am me. I'm making music. I'm putting it out. I want to be a DJ. I want to be a producer. And fortunately,
it worked out well for you.
Fortunately, it worked out. Because that's like something people always ask me, and they're like one of my biggest pieces of advice is you could definitely go two routes. Like you could kind of do like you take on a persona, and that persona is how you like are when you perform or whatever, or you can just be like authentically you. And I obviously went authentically me route, and it's just made it so easy because people are like, oh, how'd you come up with your brand? And I'm like, it's literally just me. Like, I'm just like, it's just who I am. So that helped a lot because I think I never was really worried about like a path or branding. I just kind of was like, this is what I like and this is what I want to do. And I did it.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, like people do gravitate towards the person behind the brand. If you're making that public, you know,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
They love to see new press pics. They love to see like I always use Keizo as an example. Like he'll just post stories of beef or like post stories of like his tattoos or like things that make you a human, you know?
Absolutely. I completely agree. And I think there's a very fine line between like, you obviously have a life and you want to be able to like have that personal life. And so I think there's like such a beautiful way that you can share enough with yourself of where you feel like you're really authentically connecting with people and forming real relationships. Because at the end of the day, all of those people who support you and take the time to listen to you, like you could be the best producer in the world, but if those people weren't there, you wouldn't have a career. So I feel like the least thing we could do for those people is like give them our attention and be authentically ourselves, because that's just what they deserve. Like I wouldn't be here if people like this didn't write questions or like anything like that. That's the coolest thing in the world. Yeah. And so I'm just like, be you, and it's cool. Be friends with them. Like I don't really like the word fan. I don't like using the word fan.
Yeah.
I think
it's like a follower.
Like a follower. Yeah. I think it's icky. I don't like that. I'm like, you guys are my friends. Like you're my people. You know what I mean? So I always try. Or that's why I love the word angels. Like that just became a thing. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to call people angels. That was just something I naturally always said to people. And then it just like stuck. Like it just became the thing. Cause I would see people and I'd be like, hey, angel. And
ooh, you should create, if you haven't already, do you have like a Facebook group where it's like Rossy's Angels or something?
I have a Spotify playlist named Rossy's Angels for like music and stuff like that, but I don't think we have a Facebook group. Maybe we'll have to do that.
Yeah, I think you should. It's another way to stay connected to your supporters and
marketing 101.
Yeah. A lot of times like it's cool too because we're in like Keizo's doghouse and people are like just so engaged. They'll just post pictures of candy that they made or random things. Cool. Yeah.
Memes.
Oh, I want to do that.
Lots of memes. Love the memes.
Or like Discord. I know Discord's pretty big on like stuff like that too, like having like a Discord chat with people and stuff. But yeah, maybe I'll have to do that. That would be cute.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Well, let us know.
Yeah, definitely I will. Yeah. Okay.
We have time for one more submitted question, and then we'll go into what we call the lightning round.
Whoa. Okay.
All right. So this is from Isaac and Billy Flan. They both asked the same question. So we just decided to combine it. Pineapples on pizza, yes or no?
Yes. I love it. Especially if you do pineapples and jalapenos.
Oh.
It's so good. It's really good. Okay. It's not like my go-to, but it's really good. I highly recommend.
I haven't tried that before.
Yeah, like it. I promise.
Never even thought about trying.
I know. I had some roommates that are still some of my best friends in the entire world, and that was like their favorite. And so we got it one night, and I was like, "Whoa, this is really good." And now my new roommate, well, not new, we've been roommates forever, but since living with those people, I got it and had them try it, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is so good."
Chrissy, we'll have to try it maybe.
Yeah.
You have to try it. It's really good.
I'll remember that. Well, yeah, we're moving into the lightning round. This is kind of like the last section. We have like 7 questions for you. We try to make them fun and like kind of quick, you know?
I'm excited. Take a sip of water before this. And
sip of water. And we tell people to answer them quickly, but sometimes we'll ask you a question and it's not something you can answer quickly. So cool. Whatever you want to do. But our first question is, what is the best White Claw flavor?
Black cherry.
Really?
I don't know.
You're one of those girls.
Well, I like the whole case. I I love lime. I love the lime. I
love
like
the
that.
lime.
The lime, grapefruit, and black cherry are my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I like the citrusy ones a lot too, but right now I'm kind of on a black cherry kick. They taste like Capri Suns.
They do.
But I hate the other pack. I think it's gross.
Yeah, what are the other flavors?
It's like mango, lemon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the lemon ones are not good.
So I hate the mango is my most hated one. I hate the mango one.
Oh, wow.
And
Really?
everyone loves that one. And I don't know why.
I like the watermelon one.
Oh yeah, that one's not bad. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, they're rolling out the flavors. The one that I haven't tried yet is the plain one.
Have you tried the Surge?
I tried that and I didn't like it.
Yeah, flavors aren't that great, but I was like, okay. I felt like I was like,
For Loco life.
yeah, I was like, okay, I'm drunk now. Yeah, it's like 8%. I was like, oh my God.
Oh God.
Like we needed that.
I was like, yeah, I really needed that. Yeah. So
no.
But yeah, I'm gonna go OG. That entire variety pack is like the go. Final answer.
All right. Fair enough. We'll take it
right now. Yeah.
What words would you use to describe your music style?
Cinematic, emotional, and grimy.
Cool. Cinematic is cool.
Okay, thank you.
That reminds me of Eternity on Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I still blast that track.
I love to hear that. I love that song.
Same.
We need another Bafu collab.
He's so talented. It's crazy. So
we need another Rossy track on the label.
That too. We can make that happen.
Yeah.
I'm like thinking of my release schedule. I'm like,
you're like, November?
yeah. I'm like, how does November look for you guys?
Or February 2023?
Freaking honestly.
Oh my gosh. That's good. That's a good position to be in.
Yeah. I'm lucky and happy.
Next question is, who are your producer best friends?
Oh, that's a hard question to answer. Well, obviously Paulina. That girl is my life and soul. There's so many people I could say right now. Definitely Harry. His artist name is Certain. If you don't know him, I very much recommend looking him up. Also, DJ. I'm trying to think of the people I talk to the most. Alico, Nostalgics, Cheney, Hayden. Who else do I talk to the most? I feel like that's like people that are like, we talk like pretty much every day. Miko, obviously. But I'm very lucky to know so many incredibly nice people. Julian Jewels, I'm really close with him as well. Ooh. I love him. He's I always call him my, like, people always say when we get together, we're like Dumb and Dumber because we're just, we're both a little too crazy. So they put us on shows together and we're like, ah!
I love that movie.
And Red Drum, that's also my queen. I love her. Oh, I love her so much. There's so many people. There's so many incredible people in this scene. I don't even know if I can pick. I can keep going forever.
That was a good like 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I have a really good relationship with a lot of people.
All right, we got 2 more questions for you. This one is, what is your pre-show routine?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my number one thing I'm so superstitious about is I always listen to Wild for the Night by Skrillex and ASAP. That's like, that song gets me hyped. And so I like every time I haven't listened to it, like I haven't had like, not that any show's ever a bad show, but just like something has happened or something. And so now I'm like really superstitious about it. But I have me and Glenn, who is like my brother best friend. He and I like started a playlist and we like add like hype up songs to it. And it's like, we call it like the walkout playlist. And so we listen to the walkout playlist. And I usually, whenever I do my makeup, I sit on the counter and I sit in the sink. So I usually like have a White Claw, listening to the walkout playlist, sitting in the sink, just like putting my makeup on, getting hyped for the show.
Hey, there's your TikTok right there. You should get someone to record you doing that before your next show.
I should.
Yeah, with Wild for the Night playing in the background. There you go.
Yeah, I listen to it like 12 times before I play. I'm like,
we all have those songs that just send us.
Yep. Or if me and P are together, we have this thing where we go like this, where you're like flexing your muscles and we make, it depends on who's playing. So like if I'm playing to her, I have to be like, I'm a bad bitch. And then she's like, yeah, you are. And then I'm like, okay. And then we go on stage.
Love that.
Just to like hype each other up. And me and Glenn also have a handshake.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah. So before I get on, we'll be like, can I do it with myself? No, I don't
I don't know.
think
Can you?
I don't know. No, I don't think I can. But yeah, we have a little handshake we'll do right before I go on stage.
I was gonna say, it reminds me of like the songs you hear the baseball players play when their names get announced at the stadium, and sometimes it's a really cool song, sometimes it's like a song from your parents' generation.
Yep, it's like pretty much exactly like that. Yeah, but Wild for the Night, that's mine.
Cool.
I can just picture like Gangsta's Paradise playing in the background and you just walking out on stage or something.
I literally, I think when I'm walking on stage, I try to be like, I'm Beyonce. I got this, nerves. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh yeah, queen.
You have to channel those nerves, So yeah, I definitely, that's my favorite part of getting ready for shows. It's just blasting music and having fun.
Yes. Love that. Okay. One more question. I guess this kind of relates to some stuff we already talked about, but what upcoming women artists do we need to have on our radars?
Everyone, every single one of them. I actually have a list in my phone. I'm like, I don't know. Because I just like, I do get asked a lot, and I just like think that's so cool, and I want to try to support as many people as I can.
Yes.
So obviously the obvious ones that everyone knows I'm friends with, like P, Cheney, Nostalgics, Redrum, Jessica. We can go forever. There's Vampa. There is freaking Villa. There is Tati. There's Tsunami. There is, I'm trying to go through people I haven't listed already. Whipped Cream, obviously. AW, obviously. Lucy. Rez. Dot. I'm forgetting so many people right now. Where's my list? Allison. It was like Ali's son.
Oh yeah, I've seen her.
Yeah, I thought she's on there. And then there's like Vanessa. I think that's, I don't know if that's how you say it. It's like spelled different. Kendall, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Like everyone. There's so many amazing girls in this scene. What's that girl's name that's really sick? She does like Harley X, or like Harley something like that. She does like mid-tempo. It's like Hurley. I literally need to look it up now because I don't know. I can't remember how to spell it. It's like Hurley Axe or something. I think she's on the G Jones tour.
Oh, cool.
I'm not sure.
Damn.
There's so many sick
Lots
girls.
of women.
Lots of women. Yeah. I actually need to update this list. Or Zia. I always forget. I'm so bad. It's like, it's hard when you haven't really had that many conversations and you see all their names on Twitter and stuff, and you're like, oh fuck, I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
I love her too. And Level Up. I love her so much. Such a sweetie. The list goes on, I feel like, for days.
And if you're a female producer and you're listening, keep fucking killing it.
Yeah, keep fucking killing it. We need you guys.
Yeah.
Yes, we need more women in the scene.
Yeah, and we're gonna take over.
Yeah, we are all gonna take over the world.
Who run the world? The girls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that concludes the lightning round. Not that bad, right?
No, that was good. That was good. You good. I love that. That was fun.
Yeah. So do you have any final words that you'd like to say to anyone who's listening right now?
Well, if you're listening, first of all, thank you for taking the time to listen. I appreciate that a lot. And I honestly just want to say, no matter what you do or who you are, I hope you're happy, and I hope you know that you can do anything in the world.
Sometimes you just need that.
Yeah. And I just feel like, I mean, I'm sure if someone's listening, they're probably in the music scene or like are a fan of music or something, but that doesn't, I'm just like, do whatever you feel, whatever you need, whatever you is telling you. Just do that thing.
Yeah. And it's okay to take days off. Just know that.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Take days off.
Listen to your body.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm listening to my poor body that hates me right now.
You got this.
It's not happy with me.
Well, thanks again for joining the show. And
thanks
keep
for
killing it, girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely see you guys hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're in Denver, or are you going to Miami Music Week?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. As of now, no.
EDC Vegas?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
we'll be there.
Yeah.
So if you're there, maybe we can link up.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely keep in touch.